Hey guys, back at it out in the hangar, working on all the things on the plane. Got a lot to go over in this video. Some things have changed with regards to where the plane is sitting, how I'm accessing, injuring myself in the process, of course. But yeah, so in this video, I'm going to go through and I'm going to put vents in, and I'm going to work on the interior. I'm going to work on floorboards. I'm going to work on a bunch of stuff. We're getting one step closer to putting the empennage on the fuselage, which I'm really looking forward to. But it is still a couple steps away. I swear every page, it's the next page. But we're close. We're getting really close. In the video right now, like I said, working on finishing up stuff to the exterior before I get inside and work on those floor plates. I just want to say I've got a lot of feedback from you guys throughout my last series of videos. For whatever reason, a bunch of you reached out. Thank y'all a bunch. I really appreciate it. To that end, I would say if you guys like what I'm doing on this channel, do me a favor and like and subscribe. That helps. Comment down below and share this video. Like that's the only way I can really get any kind of remuneration. I know some of you are donating money through Patreon. I really appreciate it. That means the world to me. But for those of you, if that's not your thing, you don't want to do that, I get it, totally cool. But sharing and liking helps. So anyways, let's get on to the video. And here I'm going to discuss everything that you just saw me do in this little snippet. All right, so what you just watched me do was these vents. So there's one on either side, and not hard to do, actually, really fairly simple, straightforward. Bunch of different pieces that all come together to be vents. This is nice and tight, and you can control how tight it is by adjusting the nut that's in there, obviously. What I found really handy, but there's a couple nylon nuts that you have to put between these pieces that are in here, and I had to look forever to find those nuts. This goes back to your handy dandy system for storing things. I had to find those, but once I found them, I used my washer wrenches. I don't know what you'd call these, but these are really useful for putting washers in, between tight spaces. You just kind of snick the washer in there and you can just kind of slip it in. Real handy. And then to get it all lined up, I used this guy to kind of put up from underneath the bottom to make sure everything lined up and get it in there. And then after I finished tightening it all up, I saw that one of the washers was down on the bottom of the plane. I was like, I know that was in there correctly. Obviously it wasn't, but when I pushed this up there, I launched it out, I guess. I don't know. So I had to take it all apart and do it again. But got to do it right, so took it all apart and went back in there. But now this side and that side are good. They're all clean and lined up exactly as I want them to be. I'm super happy with that. A little marking from my rivet gun on here because I was using really small pieces of tape instead of slightly bigger pieces of tape, which is what I should use, but whatever. Again, this is all going to be painted, so I'm not overly concerned. I'm a little concerned, but not overly concerned with what it looks like. But either way, these came out really great. And now I think I have to rivet in the floor panels. I don't know. Let's go look. All right. So after putting in, let's see. Okay, I can say I did this. Yep. Ding. Did you? I know you're done. You're done. Okay. So now this page is complete. Yes. Install the cabin floor panel into the fuselage by inserting its forward inboard corner beneath the nose gear tension fitting, and then slide its forward edge beneath. Yeah, that's tight. Lower the aft end mid-floor panel. Cleco the forward cabin panel to the mating structures. Blind rivet the forward panel into the surface using the rivets shown in Figure 2. And then install the left one in the same way. Yeah. So, got to get those floor panels and install them and rivet them in. It's going to be really tight putting those in there, but this is all blind riveting. It's LP 4-3s and CS 4-4s. So I got to go get those rivets, and then it's a matter of getting up there and putting these suckers in place. Yay. You know what I should do though, before I do that? I should vacuum out the inside of that sucker because it is full of debris. Crap, my vacuum's at home.
Could blow it out. Let's see.
It seems like an eternal struggle at the house where the thing I want to use for any project, whether it's here at the house or at the hangar, the tool I need is always somewhere else. So I'm always going back and forth between the hangar and my shop and other places trying to find things, and instead of having two sets of tools. In this case, I did go home and I went and got the vacuum so that I could vacuum out all the debris and detritus that's inside the plane, because there was a lot. And to help, I kind of leaned the whole front of the plane down so that I could get in there and really vacuum it out. There was a ton of stuff. So inside the plane, though, once I get it all vacuumed out and then start to put those floor plates in there, it was a little bit of a pain in the ass to get the floor plates in. Once I got those floor plates in and I started working on them, I did notice that there was a couple rivets that I missed, and I went back and I did those. I'm not sure if I have a photo of those or not, but just little stuff. So once I got everything together, and then it was a matter of beginning to use those LP4-3s and CS4-4 pull rivets, blind rivets, pop rivets, whatever you want to call them. Pop rivet is a brand name. LP stands for low profile, I think. I don't know what CS stands for. If you know what CS stands for those rivets, could you comment down below? Because I'm not sure what those it may just be brand name. I'm not sure. Anyways, so then I did a lot of pop riveting or pull riveting or blind riveting, whatever you want to call it, in order to get the work done on the inside of the plane. Now, some people have mentioned getting a pneumatic tool to do that work, and up to this point I was like, nah, why bother? You don't really do that many. Boy, having a pneumatic tool would have been amazing. I say, if you're going to make an RV-12 or something like that, where you're literally going to be using 15,000 pull rivets, then yeah, you want a pneumatic tool. Here, I just don't think you need one. Even this, as painful as it was, and I talk to that in a minute, I don't think you need one. It's just extra money that, they're not cheap, they're not free, but they're not overly expensive either. Your mileage may vary. I didn't feel the need to get one. Again, I'm trying to save money so I can have money for avionics and things like that. But anyways, I'll let me in the future, or in the past, this is the future, talk to the pain that was putting all those damn rivets in. I'm still aching over it.
Hey guys, we're back at it. All right, so what we've been doing. First thing I did is I built a stand for the plane to sit on, because really I wanted my table back. I decided to build this truss system that has, big chonky cedar, and it's all on wheels so everything can move around. Now, I did inadvertently make it a little too tall. My goal was to make it lower than my table so that it was about where it is when you would get up on it, like it's actually on its wheels. That's where I wanted to do it. And then, like an idiot, I changed my design down at the bottom with the wheels and how the support beam went, and it ended up being about 6 inches too high. Oh well, it works fine. So that's the first thing I did, is I went and did that. I freed up my table, and I think this is going to be fine. Might be a little bit of a pain in the butt when it comes to putting the empennage on, but whatever. We'll get it there. But it's stout, it's sturdy. So I highly recommend making something like that. My only concern actually now is getting it off of this when it comes to later on, once I've got the empennage and all that, and it's like time to put it on its own wheels and all that, getting it off of this stand, that'll be interesting. But other than that, I think we're okay. On the inside of the plane, I've been working on this floorboard, and specifically also this landing gear piece. Working on this side only. This murdered my back. Constantly bending over this and using blind rivets to put this floor plate in sucked. Whew. But got the job done on this side. I still have to do that side. I also had to go through and vacuum out everything because this plane was full of just debris. And so that's something I had to do, and that I'm going to continue doing. And then once we get this guy all installed and the mirror installed over there, then I think we're going to work on the door for the baggage compartment. So good times. Lots to do, lots going on. Yeah, everything's coming along well. I'm trying to think if there's stuff I forgot. I did drill out those 2 rivets down here on the bottom and then countersink the inside to do the double flush rivet like it wanted. One of the viewers, Paul, you did find that they talked about it in the plans, and I'm surprised I checked it off even that I did it, which is weird. It's like, if I don't know if I just read over it, glazed over it, and was like, I don't know, and then just kept going or what. But for whatever reason, I didn't do it. Now, his point, and I kind of agree with him, is it's a little poorly written, maybe, but I didn't feel like they brought attention to it as they should have, but it wasn't a big deal. I mean, you have ample access to get down there and do the countersink on this side so that you can do the double flush. It's just not a big deal. But so yeah, working on that. Gonna finish putting in this piece, and then once I'm done with that, time to work on the other side and do all the same things over there. So it's coming along.
So now let's talk a little bit about the work that's involved with putting in the landing gear mounts, the solid steel chonky white powder coated parts that come with the kit, and they're a bit of a pain. So you can see that I'm using what looks like a big piece of PVC pipe deep down in there, and I am, and on the end of that is a wrench, because you have to get down in there to hold the bolts still while you tighten. So if you look at the diagram here, you see that there's a lot of bolts. The AN3 14s and 15s are what you're going to be using, and then you're going to have some 5s. You have like 5 or 6 5s that you're going to use as well, and some of those are problematic as well. So the big issue is getting everything lined up. So you do initially line everything up and you make sure it all drills and everything's fine. You do that at a much earlier step, and then you go back and you do it again when you're doing the final assembly. And for whatever reason, things didn't quite line up perfectly when I put it all back in. Now, part of that I thought was those rivets that I had not flush riveted correctly, but that wasn't it. And so I just so happened to have a screwdriver that was the exact correct size of one of those bolts. I mean, identical. It fit through there perfectly. So I had to kind of jam that in there and get it in there to line everything back up, and then bolts would tap through. And when I say tap through, I mean I had to literally put a bolt in and just kind of tap it through with a tack hammer to get it in. No hard hitting, but I couldn't just push it through with my thumb. So there was a little bit of alignment issues there, but it wasn't difficult. Now, a couple of these bolts suck to get to. So first, let's talk about these bolts right here, which I'm highlighting. They go on the outside and they go in, and they kind of bolt. 4 of them on the outside, the side to the side of the plane. You want to put this one in last because it gets in the way of this bolt. And that's important. This bolt is very, very difficult to get to. It is just awkward to get to. That's all there is to it. There's not a lot of room in there. And so you want to put in that bolt last so that you have plenty of room. These really long bolts, which go through these shims spacers, I had zero issue with those. Those actually went in perfectly smoothly for me, but apparently other people have issue with those. I don't know. Your mileage may vary. For me, the biggest issue is there's a lot of these AN3 14s, and I think I'm short one. I don't know if I pull it out and use it somewhere else, but I do have one of those bolts that is not in yet because I'm trying to figure out where did I put that bolt. So I may have to order one I'm sure it's me. I don't think Van shorted me or anything like that. Every once in a while I'll use one of these as a test part or to hold something, so I just have to find what I did with it. Other than that, the biggest bolt that I have a problem with is this guy. This one right here. This bolt sucks because of this bar is in the way to be able to use any kind of tool to tighten that bolt. And there's a skin in the way, and you can see in this picture where I've kind of given a demonstration that there's no room. So I literally have to get like a 3/8 inch wrench and bend it at a 90-degree angle so that I can get in there and do it, and I haven't done that yet. But that's something that I need to do because there is no room to get that one bolt. That bolt sucks. Other than that, the rest of this kind of worked as you'd expect. It was no big deal. It was just kind of a pain getting everything in there, just real awkward, But yeah, it all came together perfectly fine, and well, you only ever have to do it once, hopefully. So now it's time to move on to the next thing. And in this case, the next thing is doing it all again. Got to do this stuff twice. That's all there is to it. So I'm starting with vacuuming everything out, jump over to the other side, start riveting down the floorboard, and then putting all the various extra pieces. And also, this is a good time, by the way, when your head's down in there to look at every single rivet and make sure they're all set correctly and that you didn't forget anything. Like I said, on the other side, I actually forgot 2 rivets that I don't know how I skipped them, but whatever. I'll look at every rivet many, many times over the course of this build. So that's what I'm doing. Now on the other side, going through, putting everything in, getting it all riveted up, and that's where I'm going to end this one, guys. Really appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys like what I'm doing on this channel, do me a favor, like I said in the beginning, like and subscribe. If you think I'm doing anything wrong, comment down below and tell me what you think I'm doing wrong. I mean, you guys are only helping me. Believe it or not, I do want to know. If you guys think I'm doing something that I'm going to kill myself or worse, a passenger or something like that, please tell me. It doesn't really help me after I'm dead. So anyways, that's what's going on here, guys. Thank you so very much. If you really want to support this channel, you can jump over to my Patreon page, and for as little as $1 a month, you guys can help support me. And finally, as I always say, if you believe you might want to build a plane, if I can do it, you can do it. If you use my reference number, which is down below, my builder's number, Vans will send me $100 when you order your kit, no matter which one of their kits you order. It's no money out of your pocket. It's just another way of you guys saying thanks. And there are lots of you doing that, and I really, 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 really appreciate it. It just means the world to me. Anyways, guys, I still got lots of building to do, so I'm going to jump back out there and get to it. See you next time.